Daniel knows something is slipping out of his control. The hours he loses, the moments he can't explain, they're starting to add up. And today, the gaps in his reality won't stay hidden. Morning arrived, strangely. The kitchen was washed in a pale, colorless light, a light that didn't warm anything. Not the room, not the air, not Daniel. He sat at the table, hunched over a mug of coffee. The steam had already faded. The surface was still. He lifted the cup, took a sip. It was lukewarm. I woke up at 7. I'm sure I did. Where did the morning go? The refrigerator hummed behind him, not steadily, not normally, but in uneven pulses, as if trying to mimic a heartbeat. Daniel felt a chill crawl up his spine. He needed proof. Something real, something he could hold on to. So he set up his phone on a small tripod in the living room, pressed record. Test. Documenting the day. No gaps. No missing time. He walked around the room, describing everything he did, every movement, every sound. Then he stopped the recording and pressed play. His own voice filled the room. Until it didn't. A perfect jump. A clean cut. No glitch. No distortion. From 10:51 to 11:05. As if those 14 minutes had never existed. No, I was right here. I was right here. He stared at the phone. The missing minutes were gone, cleanly erased. He opened the call log. Empty. Except for one entry. A call placed at 3:14. To Eric. Daniel swallowed. Pressed play. First, static noise. A pulsating, clicking sound, like a telegraph from another time. Then, a voice. His own, but distorted, distant, like it came from another version of himself.
There, inside, the walls.
Daniel froze. He could hear his own breathing in the recording, paced, panicking. Then, a deep, resonant breath. Not human, not close, but directed at the microphone. That wasn't me. The recording ended. A sharp click. Then silence. Daniel's hand trembled. For the first time, he wondered if the missing hours were not empty at all, but full of something he wasn't meant to remember. A knock at the door. Sharp, urgent. Daniel froze, then opened it. Outside the door is Eric, with a concerned expression on his face.
There you are. You called me last night. No, I didn't. You did. You sounded...
Eric is scanning Daniel's face.
Not like you. You said they were inside the walls. Then the line went dead.
Daniel's stomach twisted. He didn't remember calling. He didn't remember anything. And that was the problem. They stepped outside, just for air, just for a moment. The frost on the pavement glittered in the weak daylight. Daniel stopped, stared.
No.
There it was, the symbol, perfectly formed in the frost, not drawn, not carved, as if the frost itself had avoided the shape.
What is it, Daniel? You don't see that. See what?
Daniel stepped back. The world tilted. Just slightly. Just enough. Back inside, the house felt wrong. Tilted. Shifted. Daniel walked into his bedroom. The bed was unmade, but he remembered making it. His shoes were by the door, covered in dried mud, but he didn't remember going outside. And on the nightstand, a note, in his handwriting.
Don't look at the clock.
He looked anyway. The clock read 8:17.
Not again.
A vibration rolled through the house, low, subtle, like a breath held too long. Daniel felt pressure behind his eyes, a tug, a pull. He walked toward the hallway, slowly, mechanically.
Daniel? Daniel! I have to see.
Daniel didn't remember walking back into the living room, but suddenly he was there, standing in the middle of the floor, breathing hard. The vibration in the house faded, then returned, then faded again, like a heartbeat, but not his. He checked his phone. 11:12. He blinked. 11:12. He blinked again. 11:12.
No, that's not.
He walked to the window, slowly, carefully. Outside, a car drove past. A red one. Old. Rust on the door. It turned the corner and disappeared. Daniel exhaled, then froze. Because the same red car turned the same corner again. Same speed, same angle, same rust.
No.
He stepped back from the window. His breath fogged the glass. Behind him, Eric's voice sounded distant, muffled, like he was speaking through water.
Daniel, what are you doing?
Daniel didn't answer, because the red car turned the corner a third time, perfectly identical. A loop. A glitch. A warning. He opened the front door, and the world outside was wrong. The light was too bright, the street too long, the houses too flat, like painted scenery.
Daniel, look at me. What do you see? No, not this.
His phone vibrated. Once, twice, 3 times. A message appeared on the screen. You're drifting. Don't fight it. Follow. Daniel took a step forward. Eric instinctively reached out and grabbed his arm.
Daniel, stay with me.
Daniel blinked, as if waking from a dream he didn't remember falling into. They walked back inside again. The air felt heavier now, denser. Daniel heard a strange sound coming from a door at the back of the house, the door to the laundry room. A faint knocking came from inside, rhythmic, measured.
Daniel, don't think you should open that.
He opened it anyway. Darkness, thick, total. A faint glow in the corner. A clock, old, analog, spinning wildly, then stopping. 8:17.
Where did that clock come from? And why is it always that time?
The glass cracked. Once, twice. A spider web of fractures. Daniel stumbled back. Eric grabbed him and pulled him out of the laundry room with all the strength he could muster. The door slammed shut behind them as they hit the floor. Back inside, the vibration stopped. Instantly. Like someone had flipped a switch. Daniel looked at the clock on the wall. 8:17. Eric checked his phone. 14:52.
I'm not supposed to be here.
Daniel walked to the mirror in the hallway. Slowly, carefully. His reflection lagged, half a second behind. Then, for a single impossible moment, the figurers stood behind him, still, silent, waiting. He blinked. They were gone. His phone vibrated. New message. Soon. And Daniel Shepard realized that whatever was happening to him wasn't slowing down. It was accelerating. Night settled over the house like a heavy blanket. Thick. Suffocating. Daniel stood in the hallway, still staring at the mirror long after the figures had vanished. Eric hovered behind him, unsure, concerned, afraid to speak. A soft creak echoed from the far end of the hallway, a floorboard shifting under weight. Daniel turned his head, slowly, as if the air itself resisted the movement. The hallway was dark, too dark, the kind of darkness that swallowed the edges of things.
Daniel, don't go down there.
But Daniel took a step forward, then another. The darkness didn't recede. It thickened, like ink spreading in water. A shape formed in the doorway at the end of the hall. Tall, still, featureless. Not a figure, not exactly. Something else. Something older. Daniel's phone vibrated in his hand. A text message flashed on screen. Not yet. The shape dissolved. The darkness thinned. The hallway returned to normal. Eric exhaled shakily. Daniel didn't. He couldn't. For the first time, Eric saw enough to understand that something was happening here, something he was never meant to witness. Whatever had its focus on Daniel hadn't intended to involve him, and now, by sheer accident, Eric had stepped into a path that was never meant for him. Daniel knew, deep in the part of his mind that still understood fear, that whatever stood in that doorway was waiting for him. Just not tonight.